Welcome to Big Day Talk. To listen to this podcast in full, go to Spotify, YouTube and Apple, all the usual places.
And for Big Day Workshops, please go to www.bigdayworkshops.com and register your email. Thank you.
If you're a photographer, videographer or content creator, leave us your information and we'll send you the details on the next workshops. So massive thank you to Wrenbury Hall who are hosting today's podcast. We're here with two of the legends from.
So I'm Pete.
I'm Neil. I run the weddings, manager on the day.
This is a family place, but it does have heritage.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it dates back. It's actually listed in the Doomsday Book.
Nice.
So that's around 1086, 87.
So it was built in 1086.
So the staircase we've got now is 400 years old.
Wow.
So that's the original
Wow.
building. So there has been the odd fire and then literally rebuilt, but the staircase that's still sat there is 400 years old.
Wow.
But it was called Wrenbury Hall, so that's what it's
Wow.
listed in the Doomsday Book.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
And then changed to Wrenbury Hall. I'm not sure when that was, but
Yeah.
Because the town's called Wrenbury, though, isn't
yeah,
it? So-
it was called Wrenbury,
Ah.
Oh, so the whole town was
Yes.
called Wrenbury.
Yes.
Oh, right, okay.
and then changed it to Wrenbury.
Oh, wow. That sounds like someone's covered up a massacre or some sort of issue, isn't it? We're just going to alter history. Just
The hall that stood now was 1914.
Wow.
Kenneth Victor Starkey.
So this isn't a graded building then, is
No,
it?
no, it's not listed.
Oh, that's
No.
really good. Yeah.
It's actually in the sandstone in the main orangery. This carving of his name,
Wow.
KVS,
That's very cool.
1914.
So some history then,
Yeah,
to be fair.
yeah. It was an ambulance training school,
Oh.
TB centre, and like the family who own it now bought it in 1981.
So was that a bit like during like Downton Abbey, during the war, most
Yeah.
halls got converted into like field hospitals?
Yeah,
and,
field. Because he lost the hall like 1914 time, and that's when the council I think took it.
Oh, really? Oh, right. Oh, so is that when it was ran as
Yeah.
for medical reasons when the
yeah.
council had it?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. I mean, you've got access to a building. And
Yeah.
do that. And then what? It was bought privately after that.
Yeah, by Anne and Dennis Jones,
Right.
and Davinia, the daughter, runs the weddings. So Anne and Davinia started weddings 25 years ago. It's our 25th anniversary.
25 years of running
25
weddings.
25 years.
Wow.
That's been quite fun. We've had a couple of people here over the years, for me, that remember working here when it was an ambulance training centre
Wow.
Really?
back in the 60s.
Yeah.
And they'd come and they'll say
Yeah.
to Neil,
Oh, the kitchens was there. And
yeah,
all that.
this door was there. That's been quite interesting.
Yeah.
That must be nice for people to come back and
Yeah.
be able to see the history.
There have been some nice changes, to be fair. It's constantly being updated.
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
it's but it's not a commercial venue, though, is it? This place.
No.
It's very kind of family oriented.
It's your home for the day or weekend.
Yeah. It's there's not the one in,
No.
one out kind of vibe that you get with somewhere, which is
Yeah.
okay. I mean, there are commercial venues, and we do talk to couples who because they say, oh, we're looking at this and we're looking at this place and what do you think and what do you think, and what we normally say to people is, if you want a family vibe and you want an exclusive venue, it's going to be someone like Wrenbury Hall. If you want mass facilities and all sorts of stuff, you're going to want this place and this place. But you will go there tomorrow and they won't remember who you are.
Yeah.
We are a small team.
Yeah,
There's only like the 3 of us in the office you'll ever speak to.
yeah.
So that makes it so more personal,
yeah.
though.
So we know people by name and
Yeah.
Well, like people were saying earlier, that you can spot bride and grooms that have got married here, in the past
10 years ago and
Yeah, that's a really nice thing. And genuinely, I mean, you wouldn't get that because despite the size of me, most people know I'm 6'8", and I'm pretty memorable, I think, because of the charming personality.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Yeah. And I'll go to a venue that I've been to probably half a dozen times, like the year before or something like that, and they'll say, "Oh, is this your first time?" I've actually sat and had dinner with you. Do you know what I mean? It's like we broke bread and talked about stuff kind of thing. But because they do so many weddings and have so many suppliers and so many couples, you're just today's team, and it's a 9 to 5 job to them. So they come and go.
If there's one difference with Wrenbury Hall to other venues where I've been, is some venues tend to look at weddings as in you've booked a hall,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you've booked a bar, you've booked a meal. That's it. We tend not to. It's a case of you're here and we care about you. So if there's something going wrong, it's not a case of, like Neil says, of it's not our responsibility. It's what can we do to correct that and put it right.
Oh, you guys always go above and beyond.
And sometimes we don't cause ourselves problems, but we give ourselves more work. Because we get involved in things.
And do you know what? And this is the smaller stuff as well. So I was doing a wedding in North Wales, and I won't name the venue. And we got to the evening reception, and the cake was kind of just left where it was. So it was kind of like in the middle of all these tables. And we looked at it, and by the time the room had filled with all the evening guests, to get to that cake and cut it, let alone the fact there's a big mirror behind it, so it's a photography nightmare to do it, and you need to have flash, etc. And then, of course, we're going to have to ask guests to get up out of their seats in order to, why they're sat down in it just before the first dance anyway. That's clearly a DJ fail. But anyway, so we'd have to ask them to get up, and then we'd have to work ourselves into that corner, get that shot and all that stuff. And I said to the venue manager, I said, can you not just move the cake? And we're talking about a cake this big, right? 2 tiers. Can you not just move that into the middle of the dance floor? We'll cut the cake, you guys can get rid of it and take it off. Assuming people operate at a similar standard. Oh, no, we won't touch the cake. That's not our job. I said, well, either you move the cake or me and my colleague will go move the cake, because it's that easy to do.
Yeah.
And it'll be a much better experience for the couple and a much better experience for the guests as they're asking them to get up and do it. Just, work with me and make the effort to do it.
And it is all about the experience for the bride and groom, their parents and their guests.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
But I think, again, we know you guys very well, but with all the photographers or anybody else who comes here, we really do want to make them feel relaxed and as though we're a team.
Well,
we're all working for one end.
We see that from our point of view, because we talk to these other photographers and videographers. Most of them are our friends, most. little experience. And, they all say the same thing. Whenever they come here, they have a fantastic experience. I came out the other day from a ceremony, and it was a warm day, and, there was a couple of cold lemonades waiting on the bar.
Yeah.
Nobody asked for that. And it was lovely. And it was just thinking of the people around us. And it's not just us, you were looking after the musicians and any other suppliers that were here. And because everyone's teamwork and it's a hot day.
But it makes our day easier.
Yeah.
Because we know if we need some help, we can come to you guys and say, look, can we? We can go to musicians and say, would you mind?
Yeah.
And they're much more likely to say, yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's us, not you and them.
And sometimes there's a team effort to persuade the couple to do a certain thing, because we know it's going to be the right thing to do, and we know it's going to help make the day go a little bit smoother. But how you present that idea, if you present it as a team, it's much better.
Yeah,
definitely.
To say, if we just move that one thing there, this is going to be much better, and you're going to enjoy this experience, and that's going to be good. And you do that as a collective, don't you? But you do sometimes work in venues where it's every man for himself.
Yeah.
The venue are doing one thing, the suppliers are doing another, and it all just kind of clashes and falls apart. And
I like the way we bounce off of each other. I mean,
like a married couple.
I interfere. He shouts at me. I take no notice.
You don't.
The amount that you two do for the couple is incredible, really. I mean, nothing's too much of an issue. I mean, I think. What did we have the other day? We had there was a spare bed in the master bedroom. We said, pop down. Is it okay if we just get that? Because I think they had a few of the bridesmaids.
They had extra bridesmaids overnight.
Yeah. Is it okay if we just get that kind of folded up? So because we're going to do some final bridal shots in there later. Yeah, of course, no problem. We'll get some to to sort that. Didn't have to look too far to find somebody and kind of get that sorted. And it wasn't. Oh, do we have to? And there wasn't any pushback.
It was gone in 10 minutes.
It's done. Yeah. It's done. Or whenever there's been is it okay if we get those drinks cleared from upstairs? We're going to do this first look or something. Yeah, of course, we'll get someone to sort that out. And it's just the smallest little things that you'd be amazed when you travel around and go to other venues that you just assume that's going to happen.
Yeah, or you can't even find somebody to talk to.
Yeah, because the bar gets set by those working here.
Yeah.
And then you go off somewhere else and you expect the same level of service and it falls short.
It's nice working. It's a family atmosphere in a professional setting.
Yeah.
That's what I like. You do manage to keep it that way. So it is all done professionally.
Yeah.
But it's never a tick box operation, and it's never this is the way we do it.
Their
and
family.
That's it.
It's their family home for the day.
Yeah.
And we are their family.
Yeah.
But still do it professional.
Yeah. No. It's I love the venue.
Anyway, where were we?
Yeah.
So, actually, it brings on quite nicely. Yeah, it's always nice to have a little chat, isn't it? Because we don't get much time to chat outside of the weddings. We're always, morning and
it's busy.
And exchanging information really fast, and trying to catch up in the short space of time we've got. But I think that works though, because we've turned up knowing that we've got call sheet like this kind of thing with a couple of pages, or
Yeah.
we'll be doing like a massive Indian wedding together or something, and there'll be a lot of detail, a lot of stuff to go through, finite amount of time and kind of thing. I can walk in confident knowing this will be fine.
My favourite time of the day is that day where, when the band are setting up, we've pushed all the guests out there, we've got some drinks on the table, chocolate, some cakes, and we sit down for that 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah. Regroup
just
for the
natter.
evening.
You never
Yeah.
see
Take
that.
a
You've
moment.
gone home.
It's just that recharge the batteries and
Yep.
how we doing. Yeah, I like
That's
time.
normally a nice little space for us to kind of, the couple having a little lull. We've done all the things we're going to do with them, sunset shots and all that kind of stuff. Let them have, 15, 20 minutes before the reception starts, away from photographers and videographers.
Yeah, they need
'cause
that time.
They do need that time. And,
Yeah.
by that point, the guests are just kind of sat there having a cup of coffee, relaxing and.
I lose my suit jacket. I left my suit jacket there this weekend on the table
Yeah.
and I never moved it and lost it.
Somebody took it home.
Aww. Somebody's used that as a coat to keep them warm, haven't they?
Do you know where we sat?
Yeah.
See, there you go.
Because I
Above
went
and
off tonight
beyond.
to do something.
Well, you had a grease
Yeah, I
stain
went to
across
change
your
my
trousers,
trousers,
yeah.
didn't
Did you make a really good impression on some nice lady? She took it home and went, it smells of Neil, it smells of Neil, it's lovely.
No one's actually said anything, but no.
You're going to have to start writing your name in all your jackets,
Like school.
property of Wrenbury Hall.
But I remember the other week, we'd sat here for about 20 minutes, we'd all had a coffee, something to eat. Right, we'll get on. And we got the bride and groom in for the cake. And Mike said, actually, the sun's just in the right position. Could I take
Oh,
them off
yeah.
for 20 minutes?
I know.
Yeah.
But it was perfect. The photographs over in the field
Yeah.
They were gorgeous.
were
They're gorgeous.
stunning.
But
Yeah. I felt
with a
really
lot of
bad for
venues,
it.
you can't do that. You can't just suddenly go, right, can we do this? Can we do
Oh, no,
that?
that
But you
was a
guys are
one-off.
always amazing. You'll
And
always
it's a funny thing as
and
well,
it's
'cause-
being able to talk to you guys to say, let's
yeah.
see if we can do this.
Golden hour just kind of comes at you. There's no kind of like...
No, there's
Yeah.
no warning. It's
No,
just-
all of a
it's
sudden the
just
cloud's just cleared, and as much as you got a schedule,
Yeah.
and you're like, we're all for that schedule, and then all of a sudden it's like, because we took a walk out there, and we said we'll just go check it first before we say anything to the couple. Because sometimes you can get a golden hour, but you can see a cloud's about to go, and that's it. It'll be gone in 2 minutes,
Yeah.
and then it's
Yeah.
gone forever. Do we have time to do X, Y, and Z kind of thing? Pop back and say, we should probably ask.
No,
'Cause
that was absolutely the right thing to do, because those photos,
Yeah.
they will treasure those. You weren't going to get that opportunity again.
No,
Yeah.
no, but the cake cut being 20 minutes later.
Who
makes
matters?
Yeah.
odds, makes
Yeah.
odds.
Yeah.
All we had to do was entertain the guests a bit more and leave the bar open. That was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's
as long
the
as the
parts
bar
I
open,
like.
they're all right
Yeah.
normally.
I like those bits where something happens
Yeah.
and you think, no, we'll do it now. Take the opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get it done.
And it's worth it because you're always debating, should we do that? Should we talk to the couple kind of thing? Because we don't want to take the couple out if we don't have to kind of thing. Want them to have the best possible experience they can. And that normally means the minimal amount of photos. It's for them to have an awesome experience because nobody's natural models, are they? They just kind of
No.
want to, we'll make it fun, but at the same time, they want to relax, enjoy the day and chill out.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's that kind of bit of, if we didn't say anything, we just watched that beautiful sunset come and go.
Disappear.
And we said nothing.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, you just...
And the only people who really
benefit.
benefit from that are the bride and groom. And
Yeah.
that's exactly the way it should be.
Oh yeah, our day would be so much easier if we
Yeah.
didn't do that.
Yeah.
Getting
But for them-
getting stung by all these kind of things that are moving through the Brussels, trying to get these shots.
No, that was good. That was good. And like I said, the photos were wonderful.
Yeah. Well, you guys are always great at letting us do things. I mean, that sounds a bit mean, really, doesn't it? We're always trying to do stuff, but you guys go above and beyond. And, that there's so many times that you
But
guys
see, we
probably
don't
know.
see it that way.
Yeah.
We don't
just
see
do
it as
it.
going up
We just
above
do
and
it.
beyond. It's, the only reason we're here on the day
Yeah.
is for their experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not just the bride and groom, but it's also the mums and the dads
Yeah.
That's
and the
important.
grandparents.
Yeah.
It's making sure they go home with the best possible experience
Yeah.
and the memories.
Oh, yeah.
And if we've done that, then everything we do, that's right.
And it does matter. I mean, the flexibility we get from you guys is great because and any photographer and videographer and content creator will say the same when they come work in, is that, we've had moments where, I don't know, it's either been too rainy or too sunny or something, because photographers like farmers, like you say, we're never happy.
Yeah.
So there'll always be something that, especially with Wrenbury, the front of the hall, it's beautiful to get something with the front of the hall. There's only so many moments really where that's a good time to do that, either with weather or with people being inside, asking
Yeah.
guests to move, because you want it to be a good experience for everybody. And I think there's moments where we've had to come to you and say, it's been X, Y, and Z with the weather. A couple would still like to do something out front. We've not had. We don't want to delay things by going, can we just wait and see what the weather does? Let's just crack on. And we've gone to Neil, and Neil's gone, oh well, let's just go talk to chef and see if we can just maybe switch around the service and do back of the room first or something like that. And that flexibility to be able to go, we know the couple are going to want that. Yeah. We're not asking it to make the day harder for anyone. But you can go to some venues, and we do. And it's when that dinner starts, it's locked down. You can't touch that couple at all. We're over to the caterers, can't go near them. So you've got that window, whatever happens.
Sometimes it's a really wet day. The confetti can't happen. So we'll do confetti between starters and mains. We'll just give chefs a bit of notice.
There's a lot of places that don't do that, It's
and they'll say, okay.
Yeah. Really extraordinary how rigid a lot of venues are, and they just don't have that flexibility. And like I said, you get that benefit of seeing.
But see, we work with the chefs. I mean, that's where you've got lots of strengths that come in. You communicate with the chef and you sell it to them. So, the same way as we say to you, if you want a drink, just go and grab a drink. The chefs get drinks delivered to them. We insist that the boys and girls call them chef. That's their title. It's their kitchen.
Oh yeah.
If they're going to have a canapé, they ask chef if they can have a canapé. And we demand that of them. So I think when Neil goes in and says, "There's an opportunity, can we?" The chef just says, "Of course you can."
And we've had the opportunity to thank them for our dinner as well on quite a few occasions, and they generally come out and they're grateful for that. They're working away in a hot kitchen, for somebody to actually say thank you, thanks chef. It can
I don't know the names of everything when I've gone in there. I'm like, oh, that yellow stuff is lovely. And they're like, oh yeah, and they'll come out with the name.
Custard.
the carrot puree.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. I love that stuff.
I did the food photographs here once, and just it was like the generation game. These just like trays of amazing things were just like passing in front of you, and I couldn't tell you what any of them were, and I didn't get time to really sample any of them, but I'd had some of them in the past, kind of thinking, oh, that's a nice one, and that's a nice. I was hungry by the end of that shoot.
It's a nice thing about this place, but I think what is great. I mean, Neil says it's a very small team, and it is exclusive, but it's not fixed. So whilst Neil has seen so many couples come through and so many weddings. It would be very easy to fall into that. We do this, we do that, then we do this, we do that. It's not that.
No.
Every wedding is individual. And it's, what do you want us to do? And then how do we work that into what we know works? Because you always have to bear in mind that it's normally mums and the bride who plan a day. And they sit down either with Neil or Katie or Davinia and talk about these are our ideas. And the nice part is the three of them, with all their experience, particularly Neil because he's there on the day, is, well, that may not work because, or how do you work that in with your guests arriving? And you can give that level of advice. But at the same time, they get what they want.
That's the top priority, isn't it?
It's getting what they want. And normally, what they want isn't just a formulaic day of we arrive, we get married, we have a meal, we have a party, we go home. They want an experience. And that's what you manage to give them, is the experience.
Yeah, because even when we come here for weddings, it's not always the same every time that we're here. The ceremony can be from anywhere from outside, inside, any of the different rooms, and they look different as well. And the way that you've made everything come out on the day always looks amazing.
It's like the civils now. We can, since COVID, it can be anywhere. So we'll do it in the woodlands. We'll do it outside the front. It makes a nice picture. But we'll do it anywhere. We'll take the chairs wherever, just to make everyone feel special.
Which is a big difference compared to some venues that they'll just go, no, it's there. That's the outside ceremony bit. That's where you're going to get married. But with you guys, you're always up to talking and going through all the different ideas, which, like Pete said, it's a big thing. So.
It is nice when the weddings, summer weddings outside here, bride walks out and, she'll step out of this, front door. Groom turns around, Wrenbury Hall behind, and the bride will walk out, and crouched behind will be Neil, with and
trying to hide from the cameras.
And the honorary bridesmaid for the day, who's crouched behind. And do you know what? He's so good at doing this squat walk. That we can take pictures of you, and we can't even see you there. And he'll walk behind the couple until a certain point, and then he'll judge the dress.
Perfectly. You've got a good judge.
Once she gets onto the grass, let her finish walking that. And I think the only time we've ever really seen you is when we'll film the ceremony. We'll have a drone in the air at the time, and we go, "Oh, there he is."
That's the time I'm like, "Oh, where do I go now?"
But you're so subtle and so quick at it, and it's so refined. And then I think you did this thing for us the other day where you came to us for the confetti, and again, it was about making the experience the best it can be. And said, "Listen, mate, we've got all this confetti left." And we've given everyone 2 handfuls. They've got. I said, "Do you want me to squat walk behind them?" I don't think you used that term, but he said, "Do you want me to crouch behind them and just throw it up behind them like that?" I said, "Can you do that?" Because that would wreck my legs if I tried to do that. And I've done it before.
Yeah, I was right down there, but the guests were laughing because they saw me as I was going down and looking, and it's me just.
And all you can see is this couple coming towards us, and these extra plumes of confetti coming out of nowhere.
Who needs a confetti cannon, eh?
Nicely as they came down. They had some killer confetti images.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, this member of staff blowing it all away. Cursing his name as he walks away.
It's those little things that make the big difference.
Yeah.
Oh, huge.
And it doesn't help us in any way, shape or form. It doesn't make our day any easier.
No.
But it wrecks your legs, doesn't it?
Yeah. I'm a tidy up.
I was going to say, if anything, you're making it harder. Yeah. It's
but it's the pictures. It makes it good for them.
It does, yeah.
But there's an additional element to it, though. It means that we bond with the guests that are here.
Yeah.
Because they see us doing that little bit of extra.
Getting involved.
Yeah.
Doing something, not just standing there wanting to, nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
And you build that relationship with the mums, the dads, the uncles, the aunties, the grandparents. It's like when you go out of your way and you make sure that Nan and Granddad have got a chair to watch the photos and are having a cup of tea.
Yeah.
Those little things makes my day easier, because when I then have to announce something and I want them to do something for me, it's not, is that bloke in the red jacket again? It's Pete.
Yeah.
We'll do that, because you've built that relationship. You've built that sense of trust with them.
You're the only 2 people I know at kind of, if you will, your level, who will glass collect on a wedding day. They'll walk around and they'll see something and they'll pick it up. And you get a lot of venues where they'll go, "Oh, that's not my job. I'll leave that to to such and such." And naturally, of course, that means things get left and things happen and whatnot. Yeah. But it's just keeping on top of everything. It doesn't matter whose job it is. If you can help and you can make things better, you just get it done.
But in that split moment of asking someone if you can take that empty glass for them, you've built that relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've built that sense of, "Oh, thanks, mate."
Yeah.
Well, we get it all the time. I mean, we cottoned onto it a little while ago that one of the best things you can do with bridesmaids is when you've done, like a big group photo or something, is, hand me flowers. Yeah. Go off and enjoy yourself. Go enjoy your drinks reception, because you're not walking around with these flowers all the time. And most of the time, you'll clock onto that, or one of yours will, and we'll just pass the flowers, subtly pass the flowers on, or we'll go put them in, or whoever's passing by, we'll just take care of it between us as a team. And we'll go put them somewhere, so then when we come to do family formals, we know where everything is and we can grab them. Because lo and behold, there'll always be one bridesmaid and turn up and go, "Oh, I don't know.
I put them down
Where
somewhere."
have I put that?
Yeah. And it's just, as soon as you go to, "I'll take that from you."
Yeah.
And I know what you're talking about, because we get that little bit of look back when they go, "Oh, thanks very much. Oh, that's really good." And it's just, they all of a sudden realise then we're on your side to have a great experience. It's not, you're not just being told where to go and what to do.
And it's funny how you build that relationship and how important that then comes during the day.
Yeah.
Because I notice when we do a cake cutting, and I will say to everyone, "Look, the tables and chairs will be here all day, all night, but I need you, once they've cut the cake, to move down there." They move down there.
Yeah.
Because they've come to
attention.
trust what you're asking them to do.
Yeah. They can see it all works out as well.
Yeah.
It's not like you've led them down the garden path.
And they know there's a reason for doing it. And it is just building that little bit of trust every time.
Yeah. Even just the little things, like I remember one wedding day where the mother of the bride was saying how she'd gone and got a blister on the back of her heel, and she was like, "Oh, I'm in so much pain." And sure enough, Pete suddenly comes by with a plaster. And the mum's face is, "Oh, thank you." And
we had
sure enough, she's got her plaster back on her foot and she's ready to go for pictures again. But for us, that's a big thing, because we've got to take pictures, and the last thing that we need is the mother of the bride kind of grinning through the pain that she's in from whatever designer shoes that she's had on the day.
Off because the mum's left a jacket at home, so he's actually took the mum home to go and pick a jacket up.
But we had one very hot summer day.
Yeah.
And the bride was saying about how much her feet had swollen and it hurt. And we got her to walk in, so we announced her into the room.
Yeah.
When she got to top table, underneath the top table, Neil had put a towel, a big bucket of cold water.
Ice water.
With some ice in. Next to it were some other towels. So she could sit at the top table, slip her shoes off, and put her feet into nice cold water.
Oh, wow.
The swelling went down.
And no one knew.
Yeah.
And when it came time that she wanted to walk around the room, there were towels there for her just to wipe her feet and dry. And I thought, do you know something? Nobody in the room knows what he's done.
Yeah.
But the difference we've made to that young lady,
That's
she won't
huge.
forget.
Yeah.
And her mum, I think, twigged it at the end of what had gone on.
Yeah.
And had a go at Neil saying, where's my bucket of cold water?
Well, that's the other thing. If
that's it,
everybody
yeah.
be wanting it, wouldn't they?
I'd have to have under, like 80 guests, 80 buckets under the table.
Yeah.
But that was great. That was just one of those things where a little bit of thought, what can we do to put something right
Yeah.
the way it went?
Above and beyond always.
Yeah.
But we don't see it
Yeah.
as
No, we
above
don't.
and beyond.
No, I
I've
know
never
you
seen
don't,
that.
but for
It
everybody
is.
else,
Yeah.
it is.
It
It is
is.
a massive
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
There's so much that happens here that when you travel around the country and you shoot weddings, you just don't see it. You just don't see that level of service.
We don't even see it as a job.
No.
No.
Yeah.
It's not our job. It's
No.
we're their family
But that
for the
comes
day.
Well, how long,
across.
how long have you been here for now?
22 years in February.
22 years. So it's hard to see it as a job after that, that much time. And you're not just,
Yeah.
I mean, you've maintained this building as well as
We've got, well,
You've done planting outside.
I've seen you paint and decorate.
I painted it.
Yeah. And you do the planting, don't you?
Yeah.
Yes, we've got Ian as well who does all the gardening.
I mean, not
Yeah.
to take all
Yeah.
credit, obviously.
No,
You've got
no.
a team.
You've got a
to
team
be
and you
fair.
guys all
Yeah.
work at it. But
Yeah, but we are a small
get your
team
hands
and
dirty.
we all do everything.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
graft.
Yeah.
You graft to kind of keep this place, maintained and
Yeah.
looking after everything, which is, I mean,
But because
Yeah.
he's got that intricate knowledge of it,
yeah.
when something needs to happen, he knows where everything is,
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
it's there, when it needs to be used.
yeah.
It's not like being in a corporate hotel of
No.
you've got to go and find the manager for this and the sub-manager for that. It's
Yeah.
Neil knows.
And that has happened.
Yeah.
There's been scenarios where we've been at a wedding, or colleagues have been at a wedding actually for this one, and they've gone to, couples and guests just waiting at the bar kind of thing. Nobody's serving them, and yet there's this chap there kind of thing, and somebody's going, can you not serve them? And they weren't the right age. They couldn't do it because the whole team were really, really young. There was only one person who was 18. It's a nearby venue, and I won't name it, but there was only one person who was 18 who could serve that. I think it was after COVID. They just sacked all the staff and decided to rehire. So they pulled the same trick as the airlines, and it worked really well. And you just get that.
Till Barkey was there.
Yeah, and nobody thought ahead, thinking we're going to host a wedding, but we've got one person. Who's just the manager, so he's got other responsibilities to do, who can actually legally serve at a bar, but we'll just crack on anyway. And that's that can be the level and the etiquette that you can get sometimes with certain venues. Or naturally, I think a lot of suppliers will vouch for this one, where you'll walk in, and I rarely do it these days because, as you know, I bring my own, food and water and whatnot. I have a very healthy supply of unhealthy snacks, and I might go up to the bar and ask for a lemonade or a Coke or something. Yep, no problem, £6 please. And then the next day, the other part of that venue who are disconnected because it's a big commercial operation will ask you for that gallery to promote those images. They'll use those images as promotion to earn thousands and thousands of pounds worth of profit on the back of somebody using those images. And yep, cheers. That's a nice bit of teamwork.
Yeah.
But I've got to bring my wife in onto this now. So we had a wedding here a couple of years back where the two best men, they had done so much preparation for their speech.
Yeah.
They got props, they've done everything. They brought along a screen, they had a projector, they had the memory stick, they'd been in and interviewed. I think the young lady who got married was a teacher, and they'd been in and asked all the school kids to do greetings.
Isn't that lovely?
And so part of their best man speech was to run this and show the video. And they were setting it up, and one of them turned to the other one and said, "Have you got the laptop?" "No." Have you got a laptop? No. They had everything except a laptop. They had no way of running this memory stick and showing it. And luckily my wife was at home, so we made a quick phone call and she went up to the office, unplugged my laptop, and brought that and the power lead down. And within half an hour of finding out they'd forgotten it, we had a laptop there. So it was really nice being able to involve Anna into our teamwork of saying, right, there we go.
Oh, isn't she
Put
good?
it in.
Yeah. It is the above and beyond stuff. Again, you don't think of it, because we did a wedding here this season, and I think the moment I arrived, there was a whole bunch of bridesmaids all gathered around this box, and I think it was like a photo booth that you build yourself.
Yeah, it was on
and the connection was broken. And as somebody who deals with this kind of stuff all the time, with connections and tripods and bits and bobs kind of thing, you can kind of see what the problem is. And if it's not something you deal with, you just don't know. And in the end, it was determined that's not going to work. You know, it's broken.
It was broke.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But don't worry, I've got a spare light stand in the van that I think will fit that. And what I'll do is I'll just leave it here and I'll collect it, another time, because that photo booth will be operational. So quite late in the day. And you don't really give it a lot of thought, because we drive a van and it's a rolling toolbox and it's full of all sorts of fantastic spares, because you just never know. Just collected them over the years and just roll around with it. I know we'll just go put that in place and it's fine. And I think there's another example where we had another photo. It seems to always be photos, doesn't it? Had a bit of trouble connecting to the Wi-Fi. There's nothing to do with the Wi-Fi here. It was
we had a power cut. It was that they'd left it here the night before.
And
then you had to get into the computer, because that's one thing, I'm not computer minded.
But between the two of us, it's Mike, could you have a look at these, these connection settings?
And you've got it all.
And I've got my IT background, and we kind of dived into it and fixed that. But you don't really give it a second thought.
You don't know.
Sure, there's a problem. Let's just fix it. You're not working against anybody to go, that's not my problem.
No.
But the best part of all of that is, while we're all doing those things, the guests and the bride and groom are outside having a wonderful time.
Don't know what's happening.
Don't know any idea what's going on.
When you were talking to the two girls this morning from the registrars, and they were saying it's like swans. Top of the surface is this beautiful, serene picture. Underneath, paddling like mad. And that's how it is sometimes. But you've got to have absolute faith in the people you're working with. That you're all working towards the same end. And you can call on them. Otherwise it all goes wrong. But they don't need to know.
No. Do you know what? I realised the other day, somebody messaged me, and I felt really bad having to say that we don't have any images of what you're asking for. And the reason was, it was a really, really hot day, and I think you'll remember this one. Unfortunately, we had a different Toastmaster that day, Pete. I'm really sorry. He was a particularly tall gentleman who'll remain nameless. He didn't know. Okay, he's great. So we had a really, really hot day, and in here, it got to the point where it was really, really hot. Which was fine. There's a limit, isn't there, to when you've got sun beating down on any building, it's going to be like that. So I think we talked about it, and we said, how do you feel? We went to Neil. We said, how do you feel about doing the speeches outside? Because everybody just wants to be outside. They don't really want to come in and do the speeches, because it's just such a lovely day outside.
We've never done it before. I was like,
it was roasting.
So we coordinated with the Toastmaster, and we said, right, okay, well, between us all, we'll start carrying chairs out. And what we didn't carry these ones out. We used all the garden chairs, which would be better suited for the lawn. So we set all those out, and it took about 15-20 minutes of moving all these chairs into position, kind of thing. But it meant that there wasn't any photos of guests being in the room and chilling in the room before the speeches, because we'd immediately just moved them outside. But we'd obviously done it in such a subtle way, where we were helping out with the team, that they hadn't even registered. These chairs had just appeared. They'd gone over and started the speech and set everything up. Because there are times where you do stuff and you forget to tell the couple back. You're not just going to go over and say, by the way, I've just gone and done that to help you out. You're not doing it for credit.
No, it's.
But from our point of view, I had to kind of like reminding her, the reason that didn't happen is because I was setting up the speeches for you. Because we were sorting that out. So that wouldn't have been that scene anyway. It never would have existed, but we just went ahead and did it. But that's another credit to the flexibility, to be able to go, do you know what? We'll do the speeches outside, because that'll work better. Okay.
We have a paperwork to work from.
Yeah.
But that's just a guide.
Yeah.
Like it says, like it could say speeches last, but on the day, if they come to us and say, "Oh, can we do speeches first?"
Yeah.
It's not a no.
As long as someone tells us.
Go and speak to, just go and speak to chefs. Yeah, make sure the photographers know.
So as long as we're not, do you know what? As well, that's the one thing I think, because you'll be when you go to random venues. This is one.
Yeah.
Of
it's always a worry, isn't it?
Yeah, you could go sit down and have dinner, and all of a sudden, ladies and gentlemen, and you'll hear clapping, and you're like, oh, please don't tell me you've just started speaking. This is photography and film happening.
Yeah.
There's no tripods in position. Nobody's mic'd up for audio because we're not expecting that to happen.
Father of the bride's got nervous and thought, you know what, I'll just do it before. Give me the microphone.
Nobody's thought to interject or say anything, and just kind of randomly run with it. And we know if we go sit down somewhere and go, we know what the plan is. We've all been told. Yeah. If somebody stood up to say something, we know everybody would be working as a team and probably, just give that a moment to hold that thought, and somebody would at least let us know.
The best one, I think, to demonstrate all of that has to be our famous Irish Liverpool.
Yes. Now that you say that's not going above and beyond, but that was an incredibly unique wedding.
But that was for all of us because we were all involved on that.
Yeah. That was the Your Ceremony team.
Wrenbury.
That was
Catch
you.
My Every Day.
It was
everyone was doing
everybody.
All that,
So that was when his family were from Liverpool.
Yeah.
They were here, not a problem.
Yeah.
Her extended family, all 40 to 50 of them, were on a coach coming across from Ireland.
Yeah.
On a ferry that got delayed. The coach then had problems.
Got lost into and they kept ending up at the same place.
There is a time element with the registrars.
Yeah.
So they have a time element to do the service and then to get away to the next service.
Yeah, because they have another wedding to get to.
And it became very obvious on that day that it wasn't going to be within that time element.
No.
They couldn't do it.
No.
That's when Neil really steps up, because you're the one that turned around and said, well, okay, fine. We've got another room that's registered.
The registrars asked, didn't they, which room to... Then I said about the touring room, because that is licensed.
Yeah, we talked to the bride and groom. We had mums and dads and the witnesses.
I think there was about 8 people in there, wasn't there?
And we moved everyone out the hall into the orangery.
Yeah.
Then we brought them into that lounge there.
Yeah.
And they were married. Legally married.
Yeah.
Bump.
It's actually quite emotional. It was an emotional little kids were there, and it was quite
Registrars could get off to their next wedding. Bride went back upstairs.
Yeah.
They were all sworn to secrecy.
Yeah.
And we just kept everyone milling around, and then finally the coach arrived with 50 odd Irish people, all of whom knew they were very late for the wedding.
No.
Yeah.
All of whom were desperate for a drink and a visit to the conveniences. And we were able to turn around and say...
We greeted them with a pint and a Prosecco, didn't we?
Yeah.
Calm.
To have the team out there as well.
Yeah. We literally greeted them with the drinks reception as soon as they got here.
Yeah.
And get everyone calm, and then bring everyone into the orangery and sat down. And you did a complete reset on the video, the photographs. Neil did a complete reset with the kitchen about taking the meal back. Staff were all ready. And then with advice and help we got from the registrars, I finally got to marry a couple.
You did, yeah. And do you know what? It was a great experience, because there was that little moment where you're looking around going, wow, did that just get pulled off? That's what bit of teamwork that was.
Yeah.
I love the loud whisper from somebody in the audience who said, is he allowed to marry them?
And you look so official in the red jacket, you would assume.
Yeah. But it was lovely watching the bride and groom stood there, knowing they were already married.
Yeah.
And we'd already said to them, this is going to be one of the greatest wedding stories you can tell your friends over the next years.
And do you know what as well, the key to all of that was the communication, because throughout that, most people hearing that story would go, oh, I'd be panicking. But it wasn't, because we were careful in how we communicate. We always buffer the bride, for example, with information she needs to know. I mean, I do it all the time, and it doesn't know. They go, what time is it? I say, don't worry, it's final preparations time. That's what time it is. I'll tell them if they insist, and I'll tell them what the problem is if they insist. But most of the time, we can take the hit. We can cover things, because they don't need to know what they don't need to know. If we can keep them stress-free, and she was, and there was eventually aware of the information, but it was, don't worry, we're dealing with it, and we're doing this and we're doing that. Don't panic. There was lots of information that was given. It was all carefully done.
Yeah.
The communication to everybody, the fact that everybody went in on it, because there was already a lot of people here, wasn't there?
Absolutely. All of his family were here.
Yeah, and they knew what was happening, and they were cool with it. It's not like we had civil unrest where they would go, "Oh, I want to do," They were really happy because they were communicated to in such a great way. That they were told what was going to happen and played along with it. And obviously, Neil communicated with the team to make sure that everything happened.
The meal was held back. Everyone was relaxed.
And they got everything they wanted out of it. They had a full set of photos. They had all the family pictures. Nothing was sacrificed.
Nope. Everything worked really well.
Everything worked really well.
It was one of those days when it was all going wrong.
Yeah.
And we were able
to,
as a team to say, slow down.
Yeah.
I can remember the bridesmaids coming and they were in a right panic.
They were.
And we just like, calm down now, come on. Just, this is what we're going to do.
This can be solved.
This is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And they looked at us like, just did it.
Well, to them, because they think the world's end. I mean, they've probably never been to a venue where they can fix something like that.
But I think
that was a first.
I think the other part is, and we're always aware, we said before, mums and brides have been planning this day.
Yeah.
Sometimes for years.
Yeah.
And it gets to that final day. This is the wedding day. And the nerves are at fever pitch.
Oh, yeah.
And all it really takes is one twig to break.
Yeah.
And you can lose it.
Yeah.
And it's great because as a team, we don't ever break that twig.
No.
Yeah.
It is that, keep it calm, keep it relaxed. And because you've got all the information, because you've done all the final meetings, because you've got to know them, and when they do their stay longer, you get to know them the night before and you build a relationship. They feel more relaxed with you. You build that level of trust that they kind of know it's okay, they'll deal with it.
Yeah.
And I love that. I mean, for me as a master of ceremonies, come in on that one day, knowing that I've got all of that already settled.
It's an easier day for you from that point of view. Yeah.
I come in every day with total trust that Neil would have made sure everything's set up.
No pressure.
It's all done.
Yeah.
But it happens.
But the best part is at the end of the night, when people come up to Pete and say, because they don't, like, I am around all day, but they see Pete and they go, Pete, you've got a fantastic team, can I say well done? And they look at me and go, I know I have.
Well, that's it, because you're not seeking credit for any of that kind of stuff. You're just getting it done.
Because Pete's in his red jacket and people see him all the time. He's the one with the
There's nothing better when Neil explains to them, I'm not professional.
You're not professional, no.
I get this from, because obviously, as you know, we work as a team when we do the photo and film, and there's often a minimum of 3 people when we do it, and sometimes more for doing these really big events. And I often get it from the third person, who's somebody who can do everything I can do, and be someone like Ollie or Ross or one of those wonderful chaps. And because it's advertised as a husband and wife team at the heart of it all kind of thing, there's always those funny jokes of, they'll come over to us and, they'll thank us kind of thing and all the rest of it. And always, nobody thanked me. It's like, well, he didn't need to. We weren't asking for it either, kind of thing. And, Vic, a lot of the time, so Vic will stay up to, usually when people sit down for dinner, and then Vic will call it at that point, because we tend to shrink the team from 3 to 2, because you don't need that many cameras and that many people around at that stage. A lot of the pinch points are over for that point of the day.
Yeah.
And you'll just make a quiet exit. Won't make a big deal about it. If you can, we'll say goodbye to the couple. But if not, and at some point later in their evening, they'll go, "Where's Vic?" And that's the person who's probably put them in their dress for that morning and solved a bunch of problems for them and done all the things that you need to do. But it's just he's just getting it done.
But again, you see, from when the day starts, it's nice having faith in you guys, because I turn up and I've got an hour and a half before they're going to get married. If I know you guys are upstairs, I know the bridesmaids will be getting in their dresses on time.
Yeah.
I know the bride will be getting in her dress on time.
Yeah.
That just takes pressure away from me.
Yeah.
That means I can look after the registrars. And I don't worry about this place being ready, because Neil's managed that. This place will be ready.
Yeah.
It makes my day so much easier.
Oh, yeah.
Do you find that runs? I mean, I know there's a lot of fantastic people out there who do some amazing work. Do you find that varies a little bit from the different suppliers that you get? Do you find it?
Absolutely.
Do you find you have to handhold them a bit more, or you end up running a bit late? Or
if we've got the right makeup and hair upstairs,
Yeah.
We know they'll be ready to get in their dresses.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll have hair and makeup who just want to chat.
Yeah.
And they're not really keeping an eye on what Neil needs or I need or you need.
Yeah.
They're just there. It doesn't really matter.
I had one about 5 weeks ago. I don't think you were here for.
Oh, I was. They just kept talking.
They just kept talking. So the photographer didn't get the photos she wanted.
Oh, bless.
So I actually said, we'll do the wedding.
Yeah.
And then we'll not do a mock, but literally bing them out.
Yeah.
And we did the stairs reveal.
Oh, that's nice.
But as she was coming down the stairs, the bride, I was like, take your ring off.
Oh, right.
Because it was supposed to be. So
that's thoughtful. That's really thoughtful.
So we did that. Yeah. So we did that.
It's the little things.
And then they did the groom walking in with the best man.
Yeah.
Because she wanted to get that of the groom walking in with the best man. So we went in and straightened all the chairs up.
Yeah.
So it looked like the room hadn't been used.
That's important.
Because it was going to be late, and it was a civil, and it was already like 15 minutes late.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
But the makeup artist was just talking and talking.
Yeah.
And that's it was a friend of the bride, so it's like
that's normal. I think sometimes
happening.
I mean, obviously we're going to be talking to hair and makeup teams, so I just want to make sure I'm careful what I say. No one work with them.
We're going to get powder thrown at us the next time.
Yeah, we are. We're going to get tripped up on the way through the room and all sorts. We work with some amazing people who are, and especially the ones who are recommended here as well, absolutely on point. They are, and it is all about, they understand that when their job ends, there's more things that are going to happen, and we think we talked about a lot with your ceremony, between that little gap between hair and makeup being done and the ceremony starting, a lot happens.
Yeah.
And if they're late, it has an impact on everything, and it pushes back. And unfortunately, sometimes we get the attitude of, oh well. I said, well, that's not very nice. That's not very professional to kind of not, think about what's coming next, because the only people you're going to impact is going to be the couple, your couple. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether we do less for that day, as disappointing as that'll be, it's not our wedding.
No.
Yeah.
And I mean, you touched on it this morning again. There's only so many hours in a day.
Yeah.
There's only so many things you can get done.
Yeah.
So if you take away 10 minutes at the start, that 10 minutes is going to impact sometime later in the day.
Yeah.
And it's working out what it's going to impact.
Yeah.
I mean, we try as far as we can not to have weddings go late. And we always explain to brides and grooms that if you take too long now, you won't get as much time to relax before the photos.
Yeah.
You won't get enough time to prepare for your evening guest.
Yeah.
So it's that communication side of it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But we also know that things do go wrong, and sometimes it overruns. And it's our job then, this is where Neil was saying about you have a list of times and things you've got to get done. Very few of those are actually nailed down.
Oh yeah.
And you cannot move. You just have to adjust. And I think we're all good at adjusting.
Yeah.
the times are ish, aren't they? Like,
yes, very ish.
Depends on what's happening, really, because sometimes, like, they say it could be raining, so the photo, and then it goes really nice.
Yeah, that's always the
And then, so,
mid ceremony. You're watching this rain start, and it's like we're gonna have to readjust everything, but it's okay.
Well, we had the wedding at Wrenbury Church, and the father of the bride forgot his trousers.
Right. As you do.
It was the groom.
Oh, it's the groom.
It was the groom.
It was the groom.
Because we were there. We were there for that wedding.
And the one went to Liverpool, one went to Manchester to pick because they went into the cabin in the morning.
Yeah, and at Wrenbury Church, and we had to talk to the. Luckily, we knew the vicar down there.
Yeah.
We were able to explain, and she was fine because she worked in with us.
Veronica, she was very nice about it.
All the cars we managed to communicate with about getting people there and back.
Yeah.
But I remember when you said about the word ish, the bride and groom had prepared a timetable
at the front door.
that was at the front door, an easel, and it had all the this, and this. So we got a marker pen, and against on all the times we just wrote ish.
So when the bride and groom walked in from the church, they had this plan with ish.
All the way across. Which luckily, but I think
it was an hour late getting to church.
We got away with
one of the few occasions where everybody was already sat there waiting, and then the groom turned up. Bless him. So that's.
But we got away with it, I think, because we didn't let anyone get worried by it.
The car wouldn't work, would it then?
No.
Yeah, there was a problem with the car on top of it. Yeah.
Davinia got her car and ran the bridesmaids to the church.
Yeah. We've had car breakdowns, so that does happen.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had.
You had your van breakdown?
Well, I've had my van breakdown here. I mean, funny, it was at Davinia's wedding. That the wedding had finished, and I went to start, and it just didn't do anything. I said, oh, come on, not now. And there's this huge, event kind of going on and all the rest of it and whatnot, and it's like I'm just gonna have to stay out of the way as best I can to try and get this sorted. The AA turned up, and and it's there's a battery issue, and we'll get it sorted. And it just happens. Stuff happens with vehicles breaking down and all sorts. But we've had worse than that, haven't we?
But not with you. With another photographer who'd gone down to Marbury Church, and they'd done the ceremony, and that was all lovely. And they were going to do confetti back here, and she'd put everything in the back of her car, and slammed the boot down, and had that awful moment when she heard it go click. That she realised her keys were in the car, her phone was in the car, all her camera equipment was in the car, in fact, everything was in the car, and it was locked.
Parked in a field.
And the guests were already leaving the church, driving back here, and she was stuck.
Oh dear.
And we had all the guests turn up.
That's something I'd have a nightmare about,
And then we had the bride and groom turn up, and we realised no photographer. So we sort the bride and groom out. We have a glass of champagne. Neil greets them at the door. We inquire as to how married life is. Half an hour after getting married.
How's married life until that's the phase.
Neil sent a member of staff down to the church just to check the photographer was okay.
Well, that's good actually to do that.
He actually drove down to check the roads to make sure she hadn't gone off the road.
A lot of people wouldn't do that, just kind of even just a phone call to say, they just assume.
We tried ringing her, but it was ringing and ringing.
So it was in a car, probably.
Yeah, it was in a car.
So we managed to phone the AA, and they were going to come out and sort her car out.
Yeah.
But there was no reason for her to be here. She had no equipment. And then we found that one of the guests at the wedding had a very professional looking camera. So we tried to talk this gentleman into taking the wedding photos, and he was having none of it. He wasn't going to take that responsibility of photographing the bride and groom. So we asked if we could borrow the camera. So Neil kind of took my job and was organising people into...
Pete was the photographer.
We took all the wedding photographs. Which was really nice. But I do remember the father of the bride was getting quite angry about the photographer having done this.
Yeah.
And we had to calm him down and make him realise that it was an accident.
Yeah.
She's down at the car, probably in tears of that upset.
Feeling absolutely awful.
That must be an awful feeling.
And
awful feeling.
we got all the photographs done, and we brought them in for the wedding breakfast, and they were on the starters, I think. And she turned up.
Yeah.
She was in tears. And what she wanted to do was come in and see the bride and groom, and we refused. And we said, firstly,
we
would sit
we
down.
Did give her a coffee.
Have a cup of coffee.
Nice.
We asked her if she wanted a whiskey, but no, she
calm it down.
So don't worry, you're not driving, you can have a whiskey.
But as we said before about working with the photographers, what we then did during the meal and afterwards was got groups out. So we could have the professional photographs taken.
Yeah.
And as we pointed out to the bride and groom, it's all about memories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So rather than just saying, here's our photograph album, they could say, here are our photograph albums.
Yeah.
And they had 2 sets of photos taken.
Yeah.
Everyone was happy, and it all got done.
Yeah.
And I think that again, when those days happen, to me, it just shows we've got that.
Yeah, because you've got that in mind, that for every supplier they've got a part to play.
Yeah, there's something for there to be there. Yeah. But we've between us, we've run people home to pick up dresses they've forgotten.
Yeah,
we've supplied belts, shoes, shirts.
I'm sure you've done cufflinks as well.
Cufflinks.
Cufflinks are pretty good.
We have a tub down the bottom of the stairs full of cufflinks.
I've seen you supply confetti once.
Oh yeah, when they've forgotten to bring confetti.
Pete has a hidden drawer, don't you, for confetti?
Yeah, I'm not allowed to tell Neil where it is.
So we had
hides it
Why
from
could
me.
you just hoover it up or something?
Every time I go to a drawer, there's confetti, and I think, and then go into a different drawer the following week, and there's another drawer full of confetti.
And the other one I really liked was, remember we had the wedding where there were 8 trainee dentists.
Wow.
At the wedding.
Yeah.
And it was great. We got to know the guests and we were working round, and it had all gone fantastically well until the end of the evening. And the taxi that they had pre-booked and prepaid didn't turn up.
Oh,
that's not good.
And when they phoned, the phone got picked up and put back down again.
Oh no.
And they were stuck. And it turned out they'd booked a hotel in Whitchurch at Hill Valley. So we ran a taxi service and we took them from here back to Hill Valley.
Wow.
And got them home. But the nice part was the following week we were doing another wedding.
Yeah.
And I think you and I were both out on the drive talking to someone. A lady came over and said, "Excuse me, but are you, Pete, and are you Neil?" "Yes." "My daughter was at a wedding last week, and at gone midnight, they were stuck. They couldn't get back to the hotel, and you two sorted it out."
Wow.
And she said, "Just knowing my daughter was safe and had gone from the venue to the hotel."
Yeah.
And I thought, that's nice.
Yeah.
That was worth
That's lovely,
everything.
isn't it?
Well, that means a lot, doesn't it, to anybody,
Yeah, and I thought, it just goes to show you
Well,
can
again,
do something.
we don't even think about it, do we?
No.
We just do it.
It's just helping out. I mean, I think we've had, on things like, confetti and stuff kind of thing, we've gone to do like sparkler shots. I think the couple hadn't provided enough. I normally don't park the van that far away. And over time, every now and then, somebody will say to me, "Oh, do you want those sparklers?" kind of thing, because they'll have like a surplus of, they don't know what to do with them. And I go, "Yeah, sure." And I just collect a lot of random things. And on the top shelf
like
of
you
the
with
van,
the confetti.
along with a huge array of umbrellas of different, I've got a crazy, I've got a 74-inch umbrella, so you can take a couple out and a huge dress, and nothing get wet underneath it, kind of thing. All these kind of random tools that we've got for all these different days. And in there is a set of sparklers.
Yeah. I can remember it. Because we did it under the.
We did. We had
cabin.
more guests come out than expected, and we felt really bad that these guests were come all the way out and they've got nothing to hold. We said, "Just bear with me a second. Let me dive into come out with these sparklers." I said, "Don't worry. Let's just carry on, and we'll get it done." And it's I like those little moments. They're nice little.
Those are the ones you can't plan for.
No.
They're the one-offs that make it all worthwhile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They make a day special.
Yeah.
And they're good. I like those.
Yeah.
So Wrenbury Hall has a lot to offer here. There's lots of different versions of the wedding that you can have on the day, and then there's the new thing, which is the Celebrate Longer.
Yeah.
Could you tell me a bit more about that?
Yeah. So I'll just say first. So sometimes like the 1-day package.
Yeah.
Is just as special.
Yeah.
But we do offer the Celebrate Longer.
Yeah.
With the Celebrate Longer, it's like a 2-day package.
Yeah.
So the family get to move in for 2 days.
That's nice.
So the family get to mingle the night before.
Yeah.
Get rid of nerves. Have a meal.
That's good.
So roughly, like there's 12 rooms, so 24 adults plus the children. So have a nice cosy time in the new courtyard. So we did do the courtyard this year.
Yeah.
Made it into more of a dining area. It's also used as a breakfast room the following day.
Yeah, it looks gorgeous in there.
But with the Celebrate Longer, like I say, they move in, they come in the day before, so they can come in for midday.
Yeah.
They can see the room set up.
They can steam dresses and all that lot.
Yeah, it's a bit more chilled, that, isn't it? Because you're right about the steaming dresses. You want to get in, hang them up straight away, get them steamed then.
Yeah.
And not wreck your hair the next day.
Yeah.
So they've got the salon upstairs where they can put the dress into.
Yeah.
So sometimes the couple do spend the night together.
Oh,
that's nice.
So the traditions have gone out a bit now.
Pete's face. Oh, no.
Audible gasp.
It's just they spend the night together.
Yeah.
And then as soon as they wake up, say good morning.
Yeah.
See you in 5 hours.
Oh.
So then the groom would come down. So we have got the cabin where they go to.
Yeah.
But we'll probably talk about that a bit later on.
Yeah.
And then, like I say, the nerves have settled down a bit because they spent the night here, slept here.
Yeah.
Woke up, had a bit of breakfast.
Yeah, they've also got to see family members
all
beforehand,
the
so they
family.
don't feel like they've got to catch everybody on the day.
Yeah. And some family members have travelled,
Yeah.
so they haven't seen them for a while, especially after COVID. Like, it was nice to celebrate longer because they hadn't spent much time together. And
yeah.
There's a lot to unpack, isn't there? When you get you get married the next day, you bring a lot of stuff with you.
Yes.
And it's nice to be able to kind of get it a bit earlier and get everything unpacked and get everything settled into the rooms.
Unwind.
Because there's some venues we work at, and I'm sure it happens here as well, when it's a super busy part of the year where they arrive and they've literally only got like an hour to get all your stuff in, get settled, start hair and makeup, and get going. and that's it. You know, not many places give you the opportunity to kind of really spend the whole day there the night before. You can sleep over there the night before, but there's still a wedding happening, and you just kind of you just have to move over in that bit.
It is nice though when you get to talk to the couples in the morning, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I know we had a dead chilled night. Oh, we had meal here. Oh, it was really nice. We're actually quite excited for our main meal. Or they've had a barbecue outside. It's all
nice
these wonderful
with our staff
things
as well, because like the bar staff, whoever do the Friday, normally do the next day as well.
But
it's not just at weekends. They could do it midweek, 2 days.
But
the bar staff get to know the guests.
So everybody's got the regular orders in by then.
Hey Max, hey Grace. So people do know the staff as well.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So me and Mick getting married. We come here for celebrate longer package. What do we get fed? I like food.
So the night before, it's like, it depends. So there's different times of the year. So there's a barbecue in the summer.
Right.
But if it's more the winter months, it's like, I'd say more like pub food. So like steak layer pies, lasagnas with chips.
Yeah.
So it must have been the barbecue I had, because I came here to photograph
you did.
some scenes from that, and Chef let me have some of the barbecue for the drive home. Not advocating eating and driving, but it is a fantastic use of time when you got an hour drive. And wow, that was good food. That was good barbecue food. It really was.
Yeah.
They're a good caterer that we use as well. Everything's quality food. It's all fresh food.
But that's so it's like a barbecue set up in the summer, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's barbecue in the summer.
And what's the
weather permitting, obviously.
Weather permitting.
That was sausages, burgers.
We'll still do the barbecue if it's raining. So we actually barbecue it outside and then serve it in the courtyard.
Oh, that's good.
Because we've made it like we've got all the yellow cloths and everything to make it summery and for the night before.
Because it was like kebabs and stuff as well.
Yeah, kebabs, burgers, chicken, skewers. We actually do a side of salmon.
Yeah. Oh wow. Because they were like, I remember because they were quality sausages, quality burgers. You can tell when you're eating it. You know.
The proper thick.
Yeah, it was really delicious. So that's the summer side. So what's the pub food then?
I wouldn't say, but it's like lasagnas, steak and ale pies, chicken pie.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like pre-orders, so the guests order it before they come.
Yeah.
So we know what they're eating. We do that in the courtyard, and then they get a dessert, and then
that's nice.
Then they go through to the bar area where the fire's lit in the evening, and they have a large cheese board. So there's cheese to pick at till 11 o'clock.
Oh yeah.
So it's a nice chill.
So chilled night. Normally they'll bring all the games and play all the board games in the bar, and
that's really good. That's really good. It's really relaxed. I like that.
Wish we'd done that.
Yeah. No, well, now you said it. You know, sold.
When's your 10-year anniversary?
Ooh.
With you?
Yeah, Vic. When's our 10-year anniversary?
When's our wedding anniversary?
Yeah.
Wow. You should know.
It's in 2 years.
Yep.
Well done. I'll go and check the dates.
Neither of them have said a date yet.
St. George's Day.
It is.
Yeah.
Which is when?
23rd of April.
Yeah, what she said.
True. Yeah. So where does everybody go then in the morning?
So we've got the salon upstairs.
Yeah.
So the couples can come in from 8 in the morning.
Brilliant.
To get ready.
That's really early.
So there's a part where we can put them in.
Yeah.
So we always do a breakfast upstairs for them, like a bit of complimentary breakfast on us. So it's like
nice.
Pastries, vegetarian, bacon, sausage, ciabattas.
Very
and yogurt,
nice.
so they can pick at, because they are in from early on.
Yeah.
I'm hungry now.
But then we have got the cabin as well.
Yeah.
So later on, if someone else is coming later, like the groom or something, they can go to the cabin.
Yeah.
So that's a new thing we did, the cabin.
I like the cabin. It's pretty unisex, to be fair, because we've had same-sex couples here.
It's a nice space.
It's a nice space. It's neutral. Yeah, really nice, and it's well decorated as well.
Yeah.
Which is lovely. Dead cozy.
It's
got a few facilities in there. So
you've got a lot of seating as well, which is good.
Yeah. So you can shower
in there.
You've
got your dressing area.
Dressing area in there. There's TV connected for YouTube, which I've seen endless grooms trying to work out how to tie a bow tie. You know, that's a skill I feel like I need to learn.
I've not seen that.
No, have you not? I've got some fantastic pictures of everybody all gathered around this TV watching this YouTube video, learning how to tie a bow tie. And a lot of us can tie Windsor knots and stuff, and we've had our team, doing that and showing people how it works.
But bow tie.
Bow ties is, I feel like that's a skill I need to learn. Can you tie a bow tie?
Nope.
No.
In all my time, I've never ever managed to tie a bow tie. I've managed to put a bow tie on, and it looks like a dead butterfly is being stapled to my throat. But no, never managed to tie a bow tie.
No, that would definitely be a tip if I was given to any of the grooms. If they're gonna do a black tie and they think, right, I'm gonna have a bow tie. If you can't tie that bow tie, don't do it.
No.
Just go and get one that's already professionally done, and then go and buy one that's undone, one that you can self-do, and wear that in the evening. Or just take it off and put on the other one, and it looks class.
In the back of my car, on every wedding day, there is a case. And inside the case, there are a number of bow ties. I have socks, belts, cufflinks, nail clippers, sewing kits. Everything over the years.
You're putting our emergency kits to shame now
you are.
as to what
everything over the years, I've realised that something happens or goes wrong. Or
I tell you what you have in there. You've got sting cream, haven't you?
Because
we've been in the wooded area, and as a small child gets stung by a wasp, and it's the end of the world. And of course, naturally, you're trying to always when you're trying to do the family photos, and that child will probably be in the family photos. And that's it. Once they got stung, floods of tears. Getting them back from that mindset. As parents, we know that's not going to be a quick process. And then, Pete comes over. Is it
to
okay?
the rescue.
Is it okay if they have this? Are they allergic to this kind of thing? And to the rescue with I don't know anybody who would have sting cream. In their wedding.
In the back of the car, there's always that case with everything in that I can think of, may or may not need.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Because people forget to bring things. There's never a shirt in there, I will admit, or a pair of trousers.
Yes, we could use those. That does seem to pop up fairly.
Sizing might be a bit of an issue for people, but
Shoes a lot.
I carry a spare uniform, but that's just in case I fall over in the mud or do something.
We have super glue where we've put people's soles of shoes back on. But one of the great things about Wrenbury Hall, just in the years I've been here, it's an old building. But it never stops changing. There's always something being added on or taken away or upgraded or moved. The orangery is a long, oblong room.
Well, we're sat where wedding breakfast would be now, probably centre table. And it's as modern as any facility you're going to get married.
But it never ceases to amaze me when we have wedding breakfast in here. At the end of the wedding breakfast, we clear the room, and we change it. And the biggest change is to pull the curtains back and reveal another third of the room with different lighting, whatever. And when people come back in an hour later, it's as though they've walked into a totally new room they hadn't found before.
They don't even know where they are, do they?
And that to me is wonderful. I mean, the cabin outside was a great innovation because that meant we've got another changing area, another relaxing area. The room upstairs, the salon, it all just...
Well, they're great facilities because you've got you've got brides getting ready or girls getting ready in that salon.
They're upstairs out the way.
That's great. And then you've got the option to then take the bride into the main bridal suite, so she can have a nice, clean room that doesn't have bags for life that have been dumped there by the bridesmaids. Because the tidier the room, the more calming their mindset's going to be. They've got a nice space to get ready with mum or whoever's helping them with their dress. And then once that's done, we've then got the option of first looks. They can see their bridesmaids, they can see parents or whoever's walking them down the aisle. And then on the flip side, you've got their partner, whoever that's going to be, whether it's going to be another bride or whether it's the groom, and they're getting ready in the cabin, and they've got their own little space in there to hang out with their side of stuff, and it's a great space. And then when they're done with that, they come over to the main house downstairs, and they've got access to the essentially the whole first floor really, where they've got the bar and the living room, and they can relax, and it's got that kind of like manor house feel, I think, when they first kind of come in the door, which is quite nice. So it's nice. The cabin's nice, and it's nice to be done with the cabin and say, right, let's shut the door on that. Let's now come over. This is where your guests are going to greet you. That's what you saw when you drove down the driveway and fell in love with. So let's get you into that house, and that's where it's a perfect opportunity to do buttonholes. And
I think it means that they can keep elements of the day separate.
So they're having these separate journeys, aren't they?
You move from having that preparation. You've now moved into something else is going to happen, and it's a different area. You're not doing everything just in one place.
I tell you what's really nice is when the bride's having her final prep done and she's in the main suite, and they look out the window, and the groom's party or whoever the other side's going to be, they're having their kind of like final pictures or something, or the ceremony's right out front,
and they're watching that,
and they're watching guests arrive, and they're just seeing people, and nobody knows they're there. I don't know if it's to do with the tint of the windows because they're double glazed, but when the sun shines on them, you can't see in those windows.
You can't see in because the secondary glazing. It's the secondary glazing.
I thought it was, so that you just get a reflection of the sky, don't you?
Yeah.
So nobody knows what room you're in. So unless you really lean your head out the window and shout where you are, first of all, nobody knows where they should be looking, let alone the fact you can't see in through the windows from that side. So the bride's looking out, or whoever's getting married, and then they can see, this setup happening, and they can see the
guests arriving.
Yeah, they can see the ceremony set up
all the
before
cars
it's there,
that have arrived to take them to the church. It's nice that you can see the bride gets a bit more.
Yeah.
When you get the outdoor ceremonies and you can see the guests slowly congregating towards that, and they can actually see the setup, because it's not very often when a bride gets married they can see what the ceremony room looks like. When they first step into that room, it's full. It's full of people, and that's why when they have that little first look with the wedding breakfast later in the day, actually, do you know, there was a time that I wasn't really that into that, and then as you get a little bit older, you start paying for weddings. you start to realise
the cost behind it.
Yeah, you realise that that's the one part of the day where the bride's going to walk in and there's nobody else in the room, and she gets to see this vision, she gets to see this, all the things she's paid for, all the details they've put in place, all the favours, and the cake, everything in one place, all nice and tidy and neat and ready for them to look at. All the candles are lit, and that's a little bit of careful timing, isn't it, to coordinate, so we know when to bring the couple in.
But because we've got those separate areas, the one part I really love is when there's a civil wedding here, whether it be out on the lawn or up in the oak room, is they leave that ceremony and Neil greets them with a couple of glasses of champagne.
Yeah.
And we take them either back into the hall or down the corridor, and we put them into that lounge.
Yeah.
And we close the door. And they get 5 or 10 minutes on their own.
Yeah.
Where we can then look after their family and guests and make sure they get a drink or get ready for confetti.
Yeah.
But the bride and groom get that 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Just to take the breath.
That's interesting, because not everyone does that.
Yeah.
There's not many venues where I think just sometimes the format and the layout of it.
That's what I mean. The hall lends itself to it.
Yeah.
And
it's to slow the day down as well, because it's the day flies by. Yeah. So you need to slow it down for them to take it in.
Oh, definitely.
They don't want all the parents on top of them. They want to remember the service. Yeah. So take them in there, and half the time it's when the groom starts crying. When you take them in there, once you leave it,
and you just realise what's happened. Oh my God, we're married.
It's always their choice. It's always their choice. When Neil's doing show rounds or whatever, it's always something we suggest.
Yeah.
And I don't think,
I've made a few couples cry on viewings when I go upstairs and say, right, so who's giving you away? She'll say dad. I'll say, a fantastic picture is you in your dress, and then bring your dad in while the makeup artist is here.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then they'll start crying. And then you bring him downstairs and say, right, so once you've got married, we'll bring you into here for 10 minutes just to take it in. Because you've just said how gorgeous she looks when she walks down the aisle. And then straight into vows. You don't really see each other. And then they're like, again, it's just...
Yeah.
That's really nice, though. That's nice that they get that.
And that 10 minutes is just, I think it's lovely.
Yeah.
We've got that separate room. And the nice part is, if I'm outside organising confetti, they can hear everything that's going on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they can hear the hustle and the bustle and everybody having a lovely time.
Up.
But they're separate.
Yeah.
They're on their own. Some of them I know actually go around the corner and sit in the chairs round there so no one can see them.
Yeah.
That leads on to a really interesting point, because Wrenbury always have a Toastmaster, don't they? Is part of it, and that's not a service that everybody provides, and it does make a difference. You just reminded me then when you talked about confetti, that a lot of the time, if there isn't a Toastmaster, we've either got a venue manager to work with, as much as we love Neil, or we've got, venue managers in other places, or we have to organise it, and we have to take control and do all those things, and that's okay, but it comes across so much nicer when you just work through it, because I don't know what, for some reason, photographers and videographers, they tend to be 50-50 on Toastmaster. I think it's just maybe an ego or a power trip that they don't like the fact that somebody else. Yeah, no, somebody else might just direct that bit for them. Yeah. You go, well, if you take a step back that person's going to do all that hard work for you, and all you've got to do is be where you need to be. Yeah. You know, and they're going to put a scene together. That's exactly what you're going to need. They're just going to spoon feed it to you. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Why put yourself through all the hassle of having to direct?
But as a Toastmaster, you've always got to be aware of not treading on somebody else's toes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or not upsetting someone because you're on a bit of a power trip and you're in control.
Yeah.
And it goes for everyone. So like the registrars, no matter how well we know them, when they arrive, we always make sure they're looked after with drinks, some coffee, tea, cakes, biscuits. We always go and get the groom and the best man rather than them looking around for them. But one of the things I check straight away is, who's going to ask, will you please stand for the bride and groom? Because some Toastmasters always want to do it. Sometimes the registrars want to do it. It's checking. What would you rather do?
Yeah.
With the photographers, we're always there, or I'm always there to help, but as far as you need me, not to be in the way.
Well, you're great when it comes to the speeches.
You know,
it's amazing.
It's a small thing as well. It's the little nod, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little nod of, you're standing there and the microphones and everything's been handed out, and you just give us that little nod of, you guys ready? Is all the cameras, everybody's filming, we're all good to go. And that's massive.
I would hate for you guys to miss part of that.
Yeah.
Oh, but it happens.
It
happens when the venue just start the speeches, and I mean most of the time you're 99.9% ready.
Yeah.
But
still, a little nod costs you nothing.
No, it's just timing.
Yeah.
It's making sure that the top table are ready.
Yeah.
And they're relaxed.
Yeah.
It's making sure you guys are ready and relaxed. Yeah. I know when I started out being a Toastmaster, I was taught, for want of a better word, that you stand behind the person who's going to be giving the speech, and you pull their chair out. But you very quickly realise that you're in every bit of video, you're in every photograph.
Yeah.
And you also have to stand there looking really impressed with the speech and laugh at the right moments and not yawn.
Yeah.
And there's no reason for a Toastmaster to be behind the top table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So long as you are on the other side of the room and they can see you and you know how it's all going to work, you can introduce a speech from there just as well.
Yeah.
And the video and the photography then is on the people that matter.
Yeah.
It also means I can stand at the bar and have a drink.
Well, you've got a great voice you can project.
And relax.
So,
yeah.
And it's little things like that.
Yeah.
And it does make a difference. I mean, I've been here when you've it's not just the introductions and all the rest of it and the formalities. You've heard that many speeches, and I think you took a moment one time to thank. I'm pretty sure it was the father of the bride, and he said some really nice things about his wife. And as much as they talk a lot about his daughter, he took a moment to really compliment his wife on how beautiful she looked that day and all the rest of it. And I remember you pausing the crowd before the next speech just to say, "Can we just acknowledge that? Like how gentlemanlike that is."
Yeah, it was special, and it was so nice to hear someone do it.
Yeah.
And I think because if you've built that relationship with the guests, they will allow you to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas if you hadn't built it, you interjecting that in is almost like, well, who's
forced,
he?
Isn't it?
Yeah. But it's nice because if anyone's going to project the etiquette, it should be the Toastmaster.
Yeah, absolutely. You keep control as much as you can.
Yeah.
Talking about speeches, just a little tip.
Yeah.
Is do speeches first.
Yeah.
Because I always find that the groom, best man, are struggling with the food.
Yeah.
So if they do speeches last,
they're
there, and once it comes to like dessert, they're there like sort of picking.
Yeah.
And sometimes the best man can drink a bit through the meal.
Yeah.
So do it first. Chefs will kill me saying that because of prepping the food.
Yeah.
But we keep like when the speeches are on, me and like you're there, aren't you? I'm there, and we keep it out, and we always ask roughly the times.
Yeah.
So if the groom says 10 minutes, we know it's going to be 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But I'll keep running back and to the kitchen saying, "Oh, this is."
Yeah.
But do speeches first.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm going to add into that top tip for the speeches is to talk to your guests, talk to the people who are doing a speech, and clarify how long their speech is going to be. Because you can't just assume that they're going to create a normal size speech.
No.
I mean, we've been stood there and we think, wow, it's been an hour and 20 minutes, and nobody's been fed yet because we're just waiting on this this speech to finish because nobody's said 10 minutes each or 5 minutes each, and even 10 minutes each. 3 people average doing a speech.
It's half an hour.
Assuming we don't have the 2 best men thing, which is now a common thing. That's 30 minutes.
Yeah.
30 minutes of listening. And that can be a lot. You know, a good speech is 5 to 7 minutes. I would say.
If you can't say in 5 to 7 minutes, then you know.
But you've got to communicate that to the people who are doing the
Yeah.
speech. Say, listen, I'd love you to do a speech. If you can keep it to this amount of time, so we can stay on schedule for the rest of the day, and your guests and yourself will be grateful for that.
Oh yeah, massively.
If you can't say it in 7 minutes, and it takes you half an hour to say it, then you need to start a podcast.
I'll go with that.
Any other stories, Pete, that you've...
Some we're not allowed to tell you. We had 2 best men, and they decided that one would speak, then the other one would take over. So the first one got to 20 minutes and handed over to the second one.
Right.
And the second one got to his 20 minutes and handed back.
Oh no.
And by this time, a third of the room had got up and left. Most of the top table had disappeared. The bride and groom were both sat there. And I had to whisper to them and say, look, guys, I really think you need to wrap this up now. No, it'll be fine. And they went on, and it was an hour and 20 minutes.
It was speeches first as well, so no one had eaten.
Speeches first. And we'd gone out and we'd checked with them, how long, do you think?
Yeah.
And they'd actually said 20 minutes, and I thought, well, that's a bit long, but okay, 20 minutes for 2 of you, that's fine. We didn't realise it was 20-minute segments. So that was one of those days when we had to kind of rescue that day. We had to get the bride and groom back into fun and relax.
Oh, yeah.
We had to bring the crowd back in and get that mood back up again. And move on. But that was one of those where everyone just had to pile in.
Because they pulled the screen down at the end, didn't they?
Yeah.
And then they'd been into the primary school.
The dreaded projector screen.
And literally it took films of every guest saying congratulations.
Oh wow.
So like we actually said to him then, you need to play that through the meal.
Yeah.
Because it was literally... It kept going on, didn't it? It was literally, they had 80 guests, and they had every single 80 guests
saying a little piece.
Snuck into the school.
Wow.
It was 30
like went into
minutes.
the staff room, went behind her desk.
That's lovely, but like you say, is that something that could be playing while everybody's eating? Give them something to watch. Yeah.
We had, it wasn't here, we were in Italy the other week, and as we'd finished the speeches, we just sat down for dinner. It had been obviously a long day because you don't get lunch, and we're around Sorrento doing pitches, and you're hot and you're tired, and we were just waiting on this pasta, and as we sat down and we'd moved all the cameras out of the way, we sorted everything out. One of the guests got up with a microphone. They got it off the DJ and said, we're going to go around and we're all going to talk about how we know them and how we feel about them and say congratulations to them. And literally, and you could hear it on the the PA system that had started. The first person had already started speaking. And you're like, okay, go get the game. But the bride and groom didn't know it was going to happen.
No.
It was just somebody had stood up and started doing spontaneous speeches. And even the name spontaneous speeches is the worst possible thing you can say
to the microphone.
To a photo and video team.
Make sure that if you don't want anybody else talking, make sure that microphone is moved. That happens. Give it back to the manager.
Switch it off. Switch it off.
So I think we're going to wrap it up. So I just want to say a massive thank you for giving up your time and talking to us.
Really good. It's been nice just to
well, we always love talking to you guys.
Yeah, it's a nice bit of therapy.
And thank you for probably my favourite photo, the one Anna absolutely loves.
Is this the bouncy castle?
The bouncy castle.
I know, I love that one.
So we probably just need to clarify, unfortunately, for a podcast, but for insurance purposes, there can't be bouncy castles here. Because there's one too many things that go wrong with it. But back in the day, where that was a thing, and it was okay.
We had a very white wedding, and they had a big white bouncy castle. And there were guests arriving by helicopter. And it was a wonderful affair. And all the way through the afternoon, I looked at this bouncy castle and no one had gone anywhere near it. And I can't resist a bouncy castle. I mean, you're never too old to storm a bouncy castle. So it was shoes off. And not knowing anyone was watching, on the bouncy castle, doing star jumps in a big red jacket.
With 3 kids, it looked like Santa Claus and 3 kids.
And I didn't realise Mike had caught me mid-bounce.
Yeah.
And Anna just thinks it's the most wonderful photo.
Yeah.
And she said, if anything, it just shows the fun you have at weddings.
It was a great moment. It was,
Yeah.
it was a great moment. You got
that.
a Toastmaster mid-air on, that, on a bouncy castle.
And literally how you captured it was...
Yeah, it's a unique
And it was great. I really enjoyed that.
You look so happy in the picture as well.
You do.
You know, and
I think that's you. I think that's you, Pete, all over. Yeah.
But coming to Wrenbury Hall to work at a wedding isn't a chore.
Yeah.
No.
I know I'm going to have a great day.
Yeah.
I'm going to be surrounded by great people, by a couple who are in love.
And
so
me.
they're going to have a great day.
Yeah.
And it's fun.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever gone home from Wrenbury Hall not thinking that was great.
You don't stop though, because like even in the meal, if there's anyone got a baby, you see him walking around with the baby.
Do you know what? I was going to mention that.
You see him walking around like, and literally, he always
Pushing
gets
the
to the last
prams,
table that we serve, and he always goes up to him. He reads the crowd first, goes, "Here's cheap seats." He always does it, but he always walks around with the baby.
Can enjoy their meal then.
To do that, to even push a pram around to help baby get to sleep while they're enjoying dinner.
So mum and dad can have a meal and I get to have a bit of fun with the guests because you can have a chat with the guests as you're going round. And with a baby in the pram, it's lovely because you can talk to them.
That's it. And it's good talking.
While we're serving the food, they enjoy the meal and you're just walking a baby around.
Yep.
That's nice. That really is nice. And I think that says it all really about what you can expect.
But that's because I'm at Wrenbury Hall and I get the support to do it.
We're a family, aren't we?
A weird family.
Yes, dysfunctional families. But, but anyway, it's a great note to end on.
That's good.
Massive thank you for Wrenbury Hall for having us, and massive thank you for you guys. And you do some incredible work.
Thank you.
So we're really grateful to be able to shoot here because it is absolutely our favorite venue.
Thank you, guys.
So we're just going to wrap this up. So to listen to the podcast in full, it's going to be on Spotify, on Apple, and YouTube, and all the usual places.
And for Big Day workshops, obviously, if there's any photographers, videographers, or content creators out there who'd like to know more, please go to www.bigdayworkshops.com.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.